Hi, Kiahi Palaio here, and today we're going to talk about leasehold. Many of you have only heard about it as a myth, and I want to talk about it because I've been doing more leasehold work, and a number of things have come to mind as I've worked through the various projects I have these days on leasehold properties. First of all, if we go back 40 years, leasehold property sales made up 30 or more % of the Honolulu real estate market. Today, in the last 365 days, the Honolulu Board of Realtors has closed 7,633 transactions. Of those closings, only 337 were leasehold. That's 4.4% of the market. Unbelievable drop in the number of leasehold sales. And there are a number of reasons that I think contribute to that. Number one, no new leasehold projects have been done since the 80s, right? Secondly, many of the leasehold projects have converted, right, to fee simple, where you own the land. And then thirdly, leasehold properties have fallen out of favor. And it's mainly because we're coming to the end of the life of the lease and there's not much time left. Lease rents have gone through the roof. If you're familiar with the Kahala Beach apartments, you can get a beachfront apartment in the hundreds of thousands, like 200,000, 150,000, 90,000 for a beachfront apartment. But your lease rent is $3,500 a month or higher, right? So they've fallen out of favor, and that doesn't mean there aren't people that have the necessity to sell them, nor are there people that won't buy them. And I'm talking about this because you really need someone that understands leasehold property. So let's go back to our statistic of 4.4% of the market being made up by leasehold. All right, that's 337 transactions last year, right? If two agents were involved in each of those transactions, that works out to, what is that? 337, that's like almost 700 transaction size, right? But if you think about it, the Honolulu Board of Realtors has approximately 6,000 members at last count. And if 700 transaction sides were done, that means just over 10% of the agent population has done a leasehold transaction in the last year. And they're becoming more and more rare. And if we could poll the agents, I think a tiny fraction of the agents have done transactions in leasehold. And it makes it harder to sell leasehold because agents don't understand it anymore. I'm firmly convinced of that. They don't understand the termination provision in the contract. They don't understand the renegotiation periods or the fixed periods, what all of that means. Those are all things that we all took for granted 20 years ago or 30 years ago. And as a result, I think it takes more effort to get a property sold because the agents actually doing the selling don't understand the product. And for those of you that are thinking about buying leasehold, having someone that understands it may help you get a better deal. For those of you that have leasehold properties to sell, you want to make sure that your agent has experience in that, because it could end up costing you a pile of money or you're not selling. Anyway, I wanted to expand on leasehold because I think it's still a relevant animal in our market, albeit a tiny percentage of the market. And some of you out there own leasehold. If you have any questions about this video, or if you'd like to talk, I'd love to communicate with you in all the ways that we can. Actually talk in person maybe. How about that? Anyway, you have a great day.